Hi, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Soul Alchemy with Danielle Lynn. I'm Danielle Lynn, and in today's episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of consciously connecting to others. Now, this is a approach that you can use in both personal and business practical sides of your life. In fact, in my business, I actually use this as a way of consciously attuning myself to the kind of people that I most want to connect with. Now, just like with any technique, I would encourage you to have fun and get curious with it if it suits you. And if it doesn't, just ask yourself, what is the best fit approach for me? And then play around with that. So, a lot of times when we're creating in this reality, we sometimes ask our minds what's possible, or we sometimes use our minds to pull from the pools of probability that we're aware of here. And the challenge with that is the mind can only be aware of what you already know. The mind can only tap into the resources that it's aware of. So if you're trying to pull something very different into your reality towards you, or if you're trying to receive something very different in your reality, then asking your mind to guide you there is kind of like asking a computer program to do something outside of the space of its programming, right? It's like, that's the metaphor we're going to go with right now. So whenever I want to ask for something that goes beyond the confines of my mind, I go to my conscious heart space. Now again, we're going to describe the conscious heart space as sort of the total energy of who we are. Okay, this is the total energy of who we are. It's not about, just mushy-gushy feelings in your heart. Your conscious activated heart space is sort of like a focal point where all the energies of your body, your mind, your gut, your heart, all of you come together in sort of a focused collective to help guide you and navigate you through the choices that are possible to you in this life, whether your mind's aware of them, whether your gut knows about it. All these aspects of you coming together are tapped in through the totality that is life. So this is why when there's something you'd like to create or something you'd like to connect with in your life, it really helps to take a few breaths and get centered within yourself and get in tune, because it's not that you're trying to prepare and struggle and leap at something. It's rather that you're bringing all the energetic focus from this place here that has a limited scope to this place here that has a wider awareness, a wider space for you to play with, for you to draw in, for you to collect from. So in terms of this video, we're talking really specifically about consciously connecting with the kind of people you want to bring in your life. Now, this is excellent if you have a business and you want to bring in clients, or if you have a business and you want to bring in partners, or you want to hire team members, or perhaps, perhaps you want to connect with more friends, or perhaps you have a creative project you want to take off, or you could even theoretically use this to attune to romantic partners. In all the scenarios, I want to remind you that our resonance creates the baseline of who we end up attracting into our space. So whenever we are attracting people, even if we have a thought about who we want to attract, remember that the totality of who you are and the totality of your energy is all working together to attract people into your space. Okay? So this is kind of a whole self sort of calling in experience. That being said, the very cool thing about that is when you have certain people in your space, especially if there's certain kinds of recurring people again and again and again, you can start getting curious with yourself and say, okay, what these people out here that I'm sensing, what part of me do they resonate with? When I think of these people, where does my body respond? And that's often going to point you to where that energy is focused, to where that energy is calling these people in. Really, we have such fascinating ways that we play with this reality. So I would encourage you to play around with that. And remember that creation is not about resistance. It's not about getting rid of. It's not about pushing away or being angry or punishing ourselves for not doing something. Creation is a playful, curious exploration. Even if we've created something that we're like, I don't know if I really like this anymore, the more we approach it from a playful, curious place, the easier it is for us to shift in a new direction. This is really important. The more playfully you interact with any creation in your life, the more easy it is to shift it in a new direction. And if you have a hard time responding playfully to something, because maybe it's something very heavy, maybe there's death, or maybe there's pain or a seriousness to it, do your best to be as loving with yourself and everyone involved. And then do your best to just get curious. Do your best to just get curious. It's sometimes, in the face of the most challenging things, it can be hard for us to remember that the more serious we take things, the more tightly we wind ourselves up. And the more curious we get, whether we're happy or sad, curiosity can lead us to loosening up and shifting. So, just a perspective. Now, calling in people. So when I'd like to call in something, the first thing that I find is helpful is, as always, to take a few breaths and center within myself. After all, I am an inner to outer creator. So the more that I remember that the foundation for what I'm sending out is starting right here, the more I'm going to take care to really clarify what I'm signaling and to make a conscious choice as to whom I'm signaling to. Now, I usually like to do this by taking some breaths. Sometimes I close my eyes. Perhaps for you, you kind of like want to shake yourself out a bit. Maybe you want to stretch, or maybe you want to dance. There's no wrong way to get real centered in your body. It's just your way. And you'll know what your way is because you'll be really centered in your body. Now, once you feel good and present and centered in your body, start getting curious with yourself. Start going, okay, so I want to draw in someone. Let's say you want to draw in a friend. I want to draw in a friend. And I feel ready to hang out with this friend. I feel very good with who I am now. And this friend who's coming in is someone who is going to share and resonate things with me. The friend isn't coming in to fix stuff, but the friend is coming in with their own set of interesting things that I'll get to learn from them and stuff that I feel enjoy connecting with them on. Remember, and this is a reminder to myself as well, it's much more easy to create with is's than with is nots. So I start going through this list. I start going, and it's not just about saying what I want. It's about feeling what it feels like to hang out with this person. It's feeling what it feels. How do I feel like? I think I feel inspired and curious, and I have a sense of humor. But I also feel very good and heard and learned, like supported. And what I'm doing is I'm starting to almost collect this database, this energetic database of what this person feels like, right? And remember, you can do this for anyone, any kind of relationship. You're creating a database, and it's not just a mental wish list. You're feeling inside yourself what the relationship when you two relate with each other feels like. Now remember, anytime you're building or creating relationships, it's never about looking for the other person to bring these feelings to you. You are already the generator of these feelings. When you two come together, it expands on those feelings. You will both become um, exponential feeling receptors. I don't know. I didn't think about what that would be called. But when you come together, you each have that wholeness. And when you come together, a new alchemy is created and something very beautiful happens in that connection and friendship. And so what you're doing is you're establishing your own signal, like I am playful, I am curious, I am creative, I want to have fun, I want to joke. I can feel this person I want to joke with is having fun too. They want to be spontaneous. They want to go on adventures, but they have integrity. They feel like they can tell me what's on their minds, and I will listen. And when I tell them what's on my mind, they will listen. And so I'm feeling what this person feels like. Now here's the fun part. So I usually play with this for a little bit, and then after a while I have a nice, good, kind of feeling collection sort of built up. And then I can start going, okay, here it is. I've established it. I feel it. I have created this resonance that I've tuned into. And I know what it feels like, and I'll know it when I see it. And that's so important, because where you will find this person, where you will drawn with this person, is usually through synchronicity. So when I do this, I don't necessarily have to then go and find this person now. What usually happens is I start getting playful about it. I go, okay, now that I know what I want, where would my energy like to focus next? Because when I trust where my energy wants to go, synchronicities happen. I'll give you an example. Perhaps I suddenly am like, you know what? My energy really wants to stock up on a bunch of fruit. Geez, I haven't had fruit in a long time, so let's go. Okay, this market's closed. Let's try this one. Okay, this one looks good. And maybe I go in there and maybe I'm finding some fruit, and maybe someone happens to come along and we start talking in that fruit aisle. Maybe we start connecting in that fruit aisle. And I would have never had known to connect with them there, but because I was following my insights and the direction I was being pointed to, then I would head there. Now, the way you connect with someone may look different. Perhaps someone will pop into your life. Maybe a friend will introduce you. Maybe you will join an activity and meet someone there. Maybe it'll be someone you come across online. The possibilities are endless. But the point is that it is actually very easy for us to then connect and resonate once we've tuned in to what we are choosing. Remember, you're no beggar. You are allowed to choose the kind of people that you're drawing into your lives. And the more you do this with a sense of humor and focused creative fun, the more you're going to find yourself delighting yourself. And the more that you see how easy it is to create in these ways, the more you're going to want to play with it, and the more you're going to really enjoy what pops up into your life. I hope this has been a really fun adventure for you. I've really enjoyed making this video with you. If you have any questions, you can always write me a comment, or you can send me an email at danielle@daniellelynn.com, or visit my website at daniellelynn.com. I loved our connection. I will see you next time.